Buffalo Bill linebacker Shane Conlan on hand today. As part of the event, he signed a number of items, including a jersey for the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame and about 50 copies of Gail Jarrow's latest biography on Justice Jackson. Also, Jackson Center Chair Greg Peterson sat down for a one-on-one with Conlan as well.
A rapidly developing defense was led by All-Pro Bruce Smith. 1987 first-round draft pick Shane Conlan. And Cornelius Bennett, acquired in a mid-season trade engineered by Bill Polian. Polian was the behind-the-scenes maestro, orchestrating the Bills' return to prominence.
But Bill Polian was really highly respected. What was he in your world?
Well, he's well, he and Marv are the reason he brought me to. I became a Buffalo Bill because of him. I mean, he liked the way I played, my temperament, and I owe him everything.
You walk into the Buffalo Bills, 1987. We hadn't quite reached the glory years yet. Could you sense it? Did you sense the rebound of?
Yeah, I mean, you could tell, especially on offense. We had a guy named Jim Kelly. I mean, the guy is. I remember just watching him throw a long ball. It's like, my God. I mean, every pass is right there. He will go down in history as being the best long ball thrower ever, I think. You know, and obviously he can make every throw. I think we had Bruce on defense, and then when we got and Bruce and Darryl Talley, and then I don't know, 3 games into the season, I think we got Cornelius. That's a funny story when we got him. I was playing outside linebacker at the time, and he's playing out, I thought, and then Darryl, we had 3 outside linebackers, because I played outside linebacker in college. So I remember we signed him that day, or that Monday or something, and then I practiced all week, and halfway through the game, he comes running in for me, because he was playing behind me, I think. So I start to come out. He said, no, you go to inside. I said, I've never played inside in my life. So I look at the coordinator, I was like, what do you want me to do? He said, tackle the guy with the ball. I said, okay. And that's all I did. Just had no responsibility. Kind of like that bubble thing. So it worked out good. Just for that game. Then they taught me I was a linebacker. Then I was accountable.
So Bruce Smith, what's that mean to you?
Greatest athlete I've ever played with.
Darryl Talley?
Oh, awesome guy. We had a great time. I was talking with him, that 50-year thing, it was just he and I and Darryl. We had a great time together.
Eddie Abramowski.
Oh, my man. He was if many of you know, he was our trainer. I used to go in early, just get tape, talk to him, just listen to him. He was the funniest guy ever. Love him.
He sat in your seat about a year ago.
Is that right?
And he was telling war stories about many, including you.
Yeah, he's the best. He is the best.
We talked about Kelly. What about Bennett, Cornelius Bennett?
You know, I think I talked more to him, which is sad to say, that 50-year thing than I ever did playing football. It was just weird. Back then, there was a lot of egos involved. Like like Bruce, for example. Just you tell he likes to talk about himself a lot, but he has changed. When he was young, he was like that, and I saw him. He wasn't at the 50th thing, but I saw him before, and he was great.
Picture of you shaking hands with Marv Levy.
What a great guy. Marv was awesome. I remember a good story about I had come to camp. And I was ready to sign. I held out for like, I don't know, six weeks maybe. And I was coming to camp to sign, and I remember my agent something happened, and I'm in there, and they're arguing, and I was like, man, I'm getting out of here. So my agent and Polian, and Bill has really fiery, right? So he slammed something, and I'm walking back out, and I see Marv coming back from lunch. I felt so bad. He was so great. He came, gave me a hug. He said, listen, we'll get it done. Don't worry about it. They'll get it done. That meant more to me because I thought, my God, this guy's going to be so mad at me. He said, listen, that's between you and management. Now you're a player, I'm a coach. It'll all get done. And later that day it did. So he's just, and when I got to that, the Buffalo Hall of Fame, he called me right before I was going on. He's just a great, great man. That 4 straight Super Bowl team. It'll never be done. I agree with Whoever said that before, it'll never happen again.
What happened to Thurman Thomas' helmet?
Yeah, I still don't know. I was on the other end. Yeah. It was offense on that side, which is kind of funny. There's two separate teams. Don't kid you. We're not all together. There's two separate teams. There's the offense and the defense, and then you meet on game day. Is basically it. And so we never saw them a whole lot because it's all meetings all the time. You just meet, go to practice, and then go back to meet. So then we meet on Sundays and after the game at Jim Kelly's house. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
He's wide right.
Yeah. Feel bad for him.
Tell me a little bit about what was going on and maybe the senses. The offense, I mean, you're now off the field. It's the final drive. Yeah. Kelly's sort of moving his way down, and I'll tell you an Adam Linger story here in a second.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, it was just we had played so well up to that point defensively. Offensively, they were out of their mind. They scored every time they touched the ball, and it was true in that game. Every time they touched it, but we couldn't get off the field. So we did not play. That was our worst game of the year. And granted, Porcel, he had a great game plan. Just, keep running the ball and eat up the time. So I blame the defense more than I blame Scott Norwood. I mean, you God. Although, that's his job. But that's why you want your kids to be punters, not kickers. There's no pressure on punters. You get a punt block, big deal. You miss a winning field goal in a Super Bowl. That's a big deal. So I remember just seeing him after the game. It's just, what do you say? I mean, he tried to hit it. Missed it.
Was there a sense on the club that just we should never put Scott in that position?
Absolutely. Especially, well, that's what I'm saying. Defensively, it was just so bad. We were the worst in probably 2 years that we played. We just couldn't stop that guy. We couldn't get him off the field. Then every chance we had, it was third, and I remember that long one that Ingram caught. I mean, we had him 5 times. 5 guys had him, and he still got it. Yeah. So we knew all we had to do is get them off and get our offense on. And they were moving the ball at will.
Then the great comeback.
Yeah,
did you
fun.
Talk about? I've only heard from. We've had Steve Christie sit there too and talk.
Yeah, I saw him too.
And during halftime, obviously things aren't good. And what's Walt Corey saying to you guys?
Well, I remember it's a run and shoot, so they had only one linebacker in. So I was a nickel. Darryl was the one linebacker, the cover linebacker, and if we went nickel, I was the other linebacker. So the first time they went down, I wasn't in. They score. Second time they score. So I go, well, let's go with 2. And then I came in, then they scored again, and then they scored again. I said, okay, let's get 4 linebackers. Let's go back to our old defense. So we convinced them to do it, and we started stopping, and then they started to, score. It's not so much us stopping, just slowing them down. You play. That's a tough offense to play against. And then, just Frank Reich was out of his mind. He was completing every pass, and it was great. It was just a great game. Was there an aha moment on the sidelines where you kind of said? Well, I remember at halftime walking out, I said, man, everybody's screaming like, play hard or you're going to hurt. It's going to be a long off season. Just whatever happens, you better play as hard as you can, because sometimes when you take plays off, you get hurt. So you better play hard, or it's going to be a long off season, especially with us. Then we started, scoring some points, stopping, and it was, wow. Then I just remember the fans just, the rows just emptying. People going out, and they wouldn't let them back in, I hear. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people missed a good, and it was a blackout, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people missed a good game. It was exciting. Exciting.
So here's a Sports Illustrated article of 1986 that says, this out-of-uniform Conlan is a small-town boy who loves Springsteen and uses expressions such as really nice and so great. And you have no jewelry and hanging from your ears, and they thought that was pretty special.
Yeah, I still don't have a jewelry. Yeah.
Now,
I'm just a kid from Frewsburg.
Just a kid from Frewsburg.
Just a quiet kid from Frewsburg.
Developing defense was led by All-Pro Bruce Smith. 1987 first-round draft pick Shane Conlan.
Waits for the snap, backs up in the pocket. He throws, it's deflected and intercepted by the Bills. Leonard Smith at the 30, down to the 20,